I think we can start.
Mr. Balani, would you like to wait for a minute or something? I mean, we don't mind.
I think we'll start. So by another 5 minutes, we will have people joining. So that's how it happens. Yeah.
Sure.
So thank you. So if you can all keep your devices on mute, please. So welcome, friends. Good afternoon. I am Deepak Balani, Director General, AIPMA. Sandesh ji, can you please put Mr. Orwell, please keep your mic. Yeah, that's okay. So welcome, friends, to this webinar on business intelligence and data analytics, especially for the industry, for the plastic industry. Now, this looks very, on the face of it, we had a lot of questions as to what is data analytics, how business intelligence, is this an IT tool, what would be an entrepreneur doing with these tools. So when we were promoting this webinar, we had a lot of questions coming up from the entrepreneurs, and I'm sure our speakers will do complete justice to what they have said, but primarily on the face of it, these tools are extremely important for us today, especially with respect to exploring new market opportunities, because we have huge data everywhere, but data mining, data science, how to really evaluate the data, and a specific product which you are manufacturing or which you want to market, where is the market, where are the export opportunities. I think this has to boil down to real business opportunity and how to really enhance your market. So we are very happy to bring you this very unique webinar. We also, depending on the today's webinar, we also plan to bring workshops basically on data analytics. This would be giving a glimpse. We will not be able to do the complete justice as far as the practice and the real to do things are concerned, but we will try to give you maximum overview on what is business intelligence and what is data analytics. So having said that, I welcome our panelist, Mr. Sandesh Urwal, and our Mr. Vinnie Thakur. So thank you for coming. Let me first welcome our president, Sri Jagat Kilawala. He is the president of AIPMA. He is basically a very, very known person, especially in the field of education, knowledge management. He is a very successful entrepreneur himself. He is running various state-of-the-art schools. So IT, basically, he is on the board of NMIMS, SVCAM. So IT is something which is his forte. I am sure our president is able to relate to these subjects, and he basically has led various initiatives, especially with respect to IT. So without taking much of your time, I would kindly request our president to give a welcome address. So,
thank you so much, Deepak. Good evening, friends. I welcome all my friends, entrepreneurs who have joined us today in this masterclass with great pleasure. I would like to open this forum for an interesting exchange of thoughts. Today's program is extremely relevant in this decade of IT solutions and advancements. It is a competitive world where key manufacturers are looking through microscopic lens at the market, identifying digital footfalls, global price and revenue, production lines, and trendy product lines are being acknowledged by seeping into data points by manufacturers. As we see this current scenario, it is time we use the technology to our best advantage. Data analytics and business intelligence helps the business users to analyze historical and present data, thereby predicting future changes and proposing business models to enhance marketing strategies for the plastic industry. I'm glad that we are going to take this module forward, codeless analytics, with the highest order for the professionals in the field of plastics. It would be beneficial to all business owners, executives, directors, partners, startups, and trade supply chain management in our organizations. We hope to therefore touch upon the significant areas in this session like machine learning, buy tools to learn more about international business data of plastics. The practical demonstration learned here would enhance the learning process step by step for companies and industries. I am sure that the key takeaways would be on the lines of evaluating application of data analytics in your marketing process, quick skills to analyze any marketing and sales related data, thoughts on incorporating these skills enterprise-wide for strategic and tactical advantage, evaluate if this can be used at the grassroots level in your organization. I believe this would be a small step ahead in the direction of grooming professionals working in the plastic industry, but a big step for shaping better industries. I welcome our panelists today, Mr. Sandesh Urwal, Mr. Vinnie Thakur, our very own Governing Council Chairman, Sri Arvind Mehta, and of course our behind the scene AIPMA staff and our very own DG Deepak Balani. I wish you all the best and a grand session ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President. Thank you for encouraging us. We are very pleased that we have a leader like you who always keeps on encouraging us to undertake various activities and programs for the development of the industry. So thank you, sir. Let me now introduce to you Mr. Arvind Mehta. Mr. Arvind Mehta is the Governing Council Chairman of AIPMA. He has also been a past President of AIPMA, past President of Plast India Foundation, and he is also the Chairman of AMTEC. Mr. Jagat Kilawala, I forgot to tell you, is also the Executive Chairman of AMTEC. AMTEC is basically AIPMA Management Technology and Entrepreneurship Center. There are two centers which AIPMA has started basically on the knowledge, one in Mumbai and the other one is in Gurgaon. And Mr. Arvind Mehta is also the Chairman of AMTEC, Governing Council Chairman, and he is also a very successful entrepreneur, a very well-known industrialist. A lot of people follow him. He is very well known in the fraternity, in his community. So without taking more time, I would request Arvind Bhai to give his address.
Yeah, thank you, Deepak. Good evening, everybody. And dear our President Jagat Bhai and our panelist Mr. Sandesh ji and Vinnie Thakur ji, most welcome to AIPMA platform. We are honored to have you here. And as Deepak said rightly, that AIPMA, a 75 years old association, is now moving with the time and from advocacy, with advocacy to the knowledge for the plastic industry. This is our journey now. And for that, we have acquired a lot of assets and we are going in that direction. So, a very good evening to all of you. Hope you have been doing well in this rainy season as far as Mumbai is concerned. Lot of rain since last 2 days, but I hope everybody is fine. I am glad that today's discussion would be data analytics tools that are available to us. I wish to bring to your notice attention that in the past 20 years, the art and science of doing business has reached a stage of multitude of complexity. Plastic manufacturing too has reached a stage of being extremely competitive. Tracking growth of plastics products, exports, raw material, imports and machinery all have to be studied before planning anything and introducing a specific product. This is the need of the hour. I would suggest that whoever can learn about machine learning, tools of business intelligence today will be in favorable position in the days to come. Big data and harvesting data analytics, all of us give a chance to study external factors that are out of our control and forecast and premature beforehand for it. Data these days is automated, but is driving transformational decisions in the companies. Plastic manufacturing and other hyper-competitive manufacturing industries are becoming increasingly dependent on real-time monitoring sensors, customer satisfaction, optimization tools to improve revenue stream, to understand our business better and log improved margins. We hope that the people who have joined us today can realize our thought process behind this program, which is to focusing on driving time to value. Our audience post-session would be answering the question that they may come across related to ability to drive insight to end users, pre-built content using role centers, analysis cubes and KPIs, integration with machine learning, and advanced analytics services in Azure. Once you are all keen to learn more about data analysis and business intelligence tools, this is going to be a major use in the long run. Companies today are managing their marketing, sales, advertising, brand power, and campaigning and delivery impact via these tools. The good news is that once we leverage these tools, our services will have a modified landscape to take off from, and we would be able to expedite number of offers and products to our partners and customers. These tools are also affordable and very cost effective to our businesses. I wish you an interesting and power-packed learning session ahead. Thank you for your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So thank you for your address and your very good insight on what is the purpose and objective of this program and how the industry should take benefit of such tools in the times to come. So thank you, Arvind Bhai, for your address. Let me now introduce to you our speakers of the day. Mr. Sandesh Urwal, he is the director of Iitc. Sandesh has been in the education and training sector for 29 years. He started as software developer, but now heads the family-run training institute Iitc. The institute offers short and long-term programs in the field of aviation, tourism, designing, international business, and supply chain. He teaches specific subjects related to airline processes and specializes in sustainable and adventure tourism. He also conducts various soft skill programs, including team building, communication skill, etc., and experiential learning methodology. So welcome, Sandesh ji. The next panelist we have is Mr. Vinnie Thakur. He is a management consultant. Vinnie has been in the industry for the last 30 years. He started his career with supply chain management in India, and he has moved on to the international operations and subsequently specialized in ERP. Has worked extensively with various strategic information technology solutions such as CRM, DMS, and SCM. His focus in last 10 years has been on the data analytics. In 2006, he started his own consultancy outfit and still continues to work with some of the industry giants. Apart from his consultancy assignments, he is also involved in teaching in some of the IIMs, GLIM, and other prominent business schools in India and abroad. Welcome, Vinnie Thakur. So we are proud to have both of you, the senior management consultants. So without wasting too much of time on introductions, let us get on with the real program. So it is over to you, Mr. Sandesh and Vinit. Thank you.
I would like to first of all wish all the participants present over here virtually a great evening. I know it's raining fantastic in Mumbai. And thank you. I would also like to thank the management at AIPMA for giving us this wonderful introduction. And the president, Mr. Jagat Kinawala, has spoken everything about it. He has told you what is possible using the data analytic tools. So I'm not going to stress any more on that. But yes, one thing is absolutely sure. Data kept in isolation has absolutely no value. Today, we have data lying in the hard disk of our computers. We have access data from the internet. We have data everywhere. But how many of us actually make complete use of it? How do we take the derived benefit out of it? That's exactly what we are going to be showing you today how do you correlate the data available with you and the data available from external sources using simple tools? You did not be a software programmer or some comfort. Basic understanding of probably Excel or Google Chrome is more than enough, but using simple, freely available tools on the internet will give you a glimpse of what is possible using the data analytic tools. So we have the expert, Mr. Vinnie Thakur, whose introduction has already been given, and he's a dynamic personality, and he's been in this for so many years, in this industry for so many years. I mean, he loves what he is doing. I'm going to ask him to take over in the next 1 minute. As Mr. Kilawala also said, it's not possible to learn in the next 1 hour everything about data analytic tools. So at the end of this program, he's going to give you an option of enrolling for a 16-hour program at at a very special rate for the AIPMA members only. That is in case if you want to take it forward and learn on a weekend or a weekday, but it's just going to be 16 to 18 hours. What you need is just a laptop with a good internet connection and Google Chrome installed. So it will be basically a 1-month program and certified, of course, by Iitc. That's an option, what we will give it to you. And at the end, we will have question answer sessions. We will share an email ID with you. Even after this event is over for the next 15 days, if you have any queries on data analytics and how you can apply it in your current business, we'll be glad to answer. So all this will be done at the end of the event. And I would ask them, so Vinnie, to please go ahead.
Sandesh, thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Jagat Bhai, thank you very much for your introduction and your encouraging words. Deepak Bhai and Arvind Bhai, thank you very much as well. I wish I could have been there in Mumbai to talk to you in person, but unfortunately, the pandemic has decided not to be in that way. Nevertheless, it's perfectly all right. So we are going to be starting now. My name, of course, he has mentioned earlier. He has given the introduction as well. My name is Vinnie Thakur, and actually I am from Mumbai, but I am not now settled in Mumbai. I am in a place called as Manipal. So Mumbai was too much for me. Mumbai was a place which I loved. I was born and brought up. However, now I am settled in Manipal, but still, whenever I get a chance, I like to be in Mumbai. In fact, to be in Mumbai now has become a dream because I do not know when I am going to be in Mumbai next. Though I used to be in Mumbai for almost every 15 days, I used to be there. But unfortunately, we are still on a virtual basis, but that is not going to prevent us from going ahead with our discussion. Well, we are going to talk about data analytics, and that has been the subject, that has been the area I am into. And I am going to explain you what these particular things are, what is the machine learning, what's the artificial intelligence, why is it, how is it, and etc. I will explain all these particular things up and will also try to demonstrate not how to build a model, because building up of a model is going to be, I tell you, a perfect solution for or perfect medicine for insomnia. So I will not build a model for you, but some models which are readily available as a plastic manufacturers, you can take advantage in finding out which are the potential markets for you. In those particular potential markets, what are the gaps available? Who are the possible importers in those particular markets? Who are those people? More information about them. So during the 1 hour period, we will try to explore all those particular things up, all thanks to the machine learning and the models that come out of that. And we will try to explore these things. Of course, 1 hour won't be enough for us, but we have got 1 hour and we will try to make best utilization of this particular hour. But should you have any questions, or if you require any more information, or you require any of the resources which I'm going to use over here, and by the way, what I am going to talk about today are all the open source resources, are all the free of charge resources. So if you would like to know more about it, even though I will mention them during the session, but if you want to know more about them, please feel free to get in touch with us. I have given, or I will be giving you my email ID or Sandesh's email ID at the end of this particular session, and we will be very happy to provide you with the information. More and more people take it up. I think more and more Atmanirbhar, as PM's vision is, are we going to be? Because unless we take advantage of the data analytics, I don't think the situation is going to be any better. So without any much ado, I am going to be starting this particular session. What I will do, I don't have too many slides, but I have got some slides over here and they are going to be helping us to be having the placeholder. So I am going to share my screen. I will have these particular slides over here, and then of course after some time I will go to the demonstration and I will take you across this particular situation. Well, we are going to talk about from data to actionable insights, or the BI. So when you talk about business intelligence or the data analytics, what is it that we are looking out for? Well, we are looking out for not just the data. Data is there already, but we want data to talk to us. We want data to give us actionable insights, something that we can actually operate upon, something that we actually can do something with that, and we can get benefits out of it, or we can get results out of it. So from data, the data as such, even though available, is going to be of no use. How do we convert this particular data into actionable insights is our journey of the business intelligence or the business analytics or the machine learning or the data science. You may give any name to that, but ideally speaking, as a manufacturers of the plastic articles or the plastics, we should be able to get actionable insights, and how are we going to use them to get better of the competitors across the world is something that we are going to focus on here in our 1 hour session. Well, right now it's a one-way traffic, but if you have got any questions, please do not hesitate to have those particular questions. We will take those particular questions at the end of this particular session, and if not possible, I promise you, each and every session, each and every question that you have got after the session is over, I will make sure that you get a right appropriate answers for that. So please do not keep any doubts and any kind of question mark in your mind. So just please shoot your questions, and we are very happy to get shot at as long as they are the questions. Even if we are not able to answer the questions, don't worry, we will get to the right answers from the right sources, but make it more interactive, and in the situation that we are into, the interactivity can happen in that way only. Well, let's start with this particular one. So therefore, let's put it over here in simple terms. Why are we here? That means you, me, Mr. Jagat, Mr. Arvind, Mr. Deepak. Now we are all over here, and they have mentioned these particular things up, that we are talking about data, we are talking about utility of data, we are talking about actionability of data, and the tools and techniques that can make this particular data talk about actionable strategies, actionable insights. Now we are here for that, but let's divide this particular situation, let's divide this particular instance that we have got into the following ways. Let's talk about, and I will use this particular one as my whiteboard itself. Now let's talk about how was the situation once upon a time, and what has happened with the advent of data and data analytics technique. How this particular one are going to impact us is our next topic, and then we shall go ahead with a small demonstration of what can be done with data science or what can be done with machine learning. Now, like you are in export business, you are into the export, import, as well as I'm sure international business as well. I started my career in Mumbai, of course. I started my career with a big trading house. That time DGFT, or that time we used to have the trading house, export house, star trading house, and etc. So I was working for a trading house. That was my first job. And we were doing a lot of export. I think at that time, we were exporting worth of 250 crores or something of that sort. Well, it's a long time back. And if I tell you in which year that was, probably my age is revealed. But anyway, that's perfectly all right. Long time back, in the last, around late 90s, I am talking about. Now, we used to have the export, and I'm sure all the people at that time used to do the export, and they used to follow a specific methodology. And that particular specific methodology is no more in existence. But let me explain you what that particular methodology was. We used to work with the trade channel. Now, what's the trade channel? You have got importers in different countries. Importers import from you. They are specialized importers. They will import, they will stock, and etc. Importers will sell it to the wholesalers. The wholesalers will have the distributors, and distributors will sell to the retailers, and actual users are buying from them if it is a consumable product. If it is a B2B sales, there will be a trade channel of some type. Our job in that particular time was to find out who the importers are, specialized importers, those who had made import as their business, import as their bread and butter, identify those particular importers, try to get in touch with them, go to that particular country, visit them, take them out, maybe discuss with them, go and take part in the exhibitions, so on and so forth, get the importers and try to get them from them the various different inquiries, submit them the products or samples and etc. and get from them the orders. Actually, this breed of importers has vanished. Even though they may be there in some industries, they are vanished. Something else has happened. Let's see what has happened. By the way, there was another way of exporting as well, and that particular way, we used to take part in the international tenders and go with these particular tenders, identify which organization is giving the tender, how they are giving it, how to bid for that, who may be the competitors. We used to go for that as well. Even that has changed substantially. Well, apart from that, you will go abroad, you will call them over here. All those things used to happen. But believe me, the things have changed completely. The buyer has become extremely intelligent. The available data at their disposal has given them a tremendous power, and they are able to find out their sources, they are able to find out their manufacturers in a much, much better way directly, and all the trade channel actually has collapsed. A lot of things has gone wrong in that particular one. If we keep on doing the same things what we used to do 20 years back, we won't be able to get any results. I am going to give you one example, rather a small story. Let's start with this particular small story. The story is about a small company in a place in Spain called as Savia. Actually, when they write it Saville, but when they pronounce it, they call it as Savia. Now, there is a very small city called as Savia, very beautiful city, Savia. And for preparation of the data analytics case, I came across this particular company, and very phenomenal company. They are into plastics too, but they are into plastic fasteners of a specific type. 3 people, husband, wife, and that lady's brother, 3 people handle that company. They have got completely online systems. They are dealing with 172 countries in the world, and 3 of them are actually turning out business which is in crores of rupees. They have got absolutely perfect understanding of how that particular market goes. And since I was studying that particular company, I was trying to find out how these particular things can be utilized and etc. I realized that their entire empire was built upon knowledge, data, analysis of data, prediction from the data, making sure that the models that they're working out are coming out right. If something goes wrong, in that case, how do they rectify that? They just do that. And by the way, that's not the only company. I'm just giving example of one such company. Competitor in the world has changed. Manufacturers in the world has changed. China has come and changed the whole situation, not only now, earlier as well. And in that particular onslaught, if we do not change, probably our scope in the business of the international marketing business is not going to be as much, is not going to be that great. However, there are people in India who are doing these particular things as well. And here I am going to explain you, because I presume that you may or may not come across, you might have heard the terms, but you may not have really got the feeling of those particular terms. So I will take around 10 minutes to explain you these particular terms, what is called as a data revolution and what is called as data analytics. So those of you who are not aware of these terms, those of you who are not aware of what is it actually, what are you talking about, data, etc., let me give them a kind of a brief background. Let me show how these particular things are actually going to help us out, and I will going to show you a demonstration. Of course, you can try these demonstrations also with me, or maybe after this particular session gets over. Try it out. You will notice it has got tremendous advantage, and I am going to take one of your AIPMA products, or one of the products from the AIPMA category of the products, and I will take demonstration of that, and I'm sure you can try that particular thing out as well. Now, first of all, let's understand that there is something that we cannot claim to be poor with, and that particular thing is going to be called as availability of the data. Now, the question is, we talk about data, we say about data, we say data is available, big data, this and that and that. But where is this data? That means, what is this data? Where is it coming from? Where is it that particular data has made these particular things change? So let me give you the genesis of this particular data. But before I give you the genesis, let me draw a small picture for you. And that particular small picture is this. On this side of the picture that we have got We have got data, and I'm going to explain you where this data comes in from, and particularly for AIPMA people, AIPMA members, where this particular data comes in from, and let's put it over here on this particular side, how this particular data is going to give us the benefits. So a simple diagram, let's have this particular simple diagram in front of us, and let's have a look at it. Now, if you look at it, where is this particular data coming from? Not one source. Data is in open data format. That means anyone can have a look at this particular data. Anyone can get this particular data. So let me start over here with a beautiful source of data world over that is considered as a very, very precise source of data, and that has made a lot of difference. By the way, when you import, you have got bill of entry. When you export, you have got shipping bill. Now, import and export in India always goes through the doors of customs. Even if it may be self-declared, it has to go through the doors of customs, and you have got electronic versions, of course, of bill of entry and shipping bill. Now, it's mandatory on the part of the government to make the data of shipping bill and bill of entry. Of course, not all, but data, make this particular data open and is made available not only to you or to me, it's made available to the world. It's the responsibility of the government to have this data dispensed of. Data is there for every single import that has taken place. Data is there of every single export that has taken place. The problem is this. Every day, look at Nhava Sheva, look at Mumbai, look at Paradip, look at number of the 16 ports that we have got. Thousands and thousands of consignments are going. There are thousands and thousands of data elements which are coming in. The data pours in like a Niagara. It just falls on your head like a tsunami. How do you make sense of that particular data? And I am talking about only one type of data right now. I will add multiple data sources over there as well. But this data which is happening, which is telling us where the things are going from India, at what price approximately they are going, which countries are buying from India, what other things they are buying. Of course, you will not get the names of the importers, etc., because that is supposed to be the proprietary information. But generally, the information which is required for government of India to create policies, to use those particular policies, and to the people like you and me who are in this particular industry to know what that particular data is, where which can use it for the purpose of going ahead with. We have got that particular data from the government of India available on data.gov.in openly. Of course, it's a very complicated data, but nevertheless, data is there. And like you have got data from the government of India, every single country which is a signatory to the World Trade Organization has to have this particular data shared too. So if I want to find out from Venezuela what is getting imported in Venezuela, not only for today, not only yesterday, for last 20 years, what Venezuela has been buying, from which country have they buying from, how are they buying it, what is the trend of their buying, what's the pattern of their buying, you have got that particular data, and right now we are going to have a look at it. So the data that comes in over here, and that particular data is typically going to be the trade data, and every government signatory to the World Trade Center or World Trade Organization will have this particular data made available. Incidentally, there are a lot of paid services also. You can tell them, okay, my BTN number is so and so, HS code is so and so, and give me import data for this country, that country. They can give it as well. But I am here today to tell you about the free sources, the free resources. We are not here to use the paid resources, which of course you are free to use them as well. But all these things can be done in a simplified manner as well by ourselves, and that is what I am going to explain it to you. Let's go to the type of data number 2, because unless you have got that particular second type, the trade data will not make sense. The trade data is a dry data. Now, why do I call it a dry data? It just talks about what gets imported, what gets exported, who buys it, who sells it, at what price, and etc. That will not lead us anywhere. I think we need to ask this question. We need to have this answer. Why are they importing this product? Why are they importing this? Why have they been importing continuously? Why are they not importing, let's say, from China? Why are they not importing from India? Now, that is the kind of a data that will not come from trade data, which I mentioned just now. That data will be not available directly as well. You require machine learning for that, but the basic raw material for the machine learning actually is a data which comes from the World Bank. I will put it over here as WB, World Bank. They have got thousands and thousands of indicators. Indicators which actually talk about a specific market, about a specific country, and within a country specific state, within the state specific areas. They do talk about all these particular areas and countries and talk about indicators. Now, when you put two things together, the indicator data from the World Bank, what's happening, how the demographics are changing, how the people are changing, how the preferences are changing, when you have this particular data and when you have the trade data, and when you put them together, there is going to be a deadly combination. And that deadly combination is going to actually happen, not straight away. That is going to happen with the thing that we follow here as machine learning models or machine learning as such, or the data science. I will take 1 more minute to come in over there. But well, that is the basic anatomy. Now, apart from that, the institutes or the agencies or the trade bodies like AIPMA, like APEDA in India, of course, in the World Trade, there are plenty of organizations as well. They keep on collecting domain-specific information, domain-specific data. So we get over here the domain-specific data which is available, and apart from that, your own sources of data will always be there. You have been dealing with those particular countries and markets and industries and products and etc. So you have got your own sources as well. So we have got, I will put it over here as own sources. We have got over here no dearth of data. There is ample data. I will right now show you where that particular data is for your product. We will see how that particular data is. But what good is this data if we are not able to use it? This data in its own traditional form, in its own intrinsic form, in its own pure form, is plain simple data, and we don't want just data, we want data to talk to us. We want data to actually talk to us and give us insights which are actionable, where we can take our strategic steps to convert that meaningfulness of the data into actionable strategy. Example is this. After having gone through this particular data, I realized that maybe the plastic products I'm talking about, let's say 39 chapter, 23rd subchapter, let's say product number 10, or maybe subsection heading number 10, say 39, 23, 10. This particular product has got a very good potential in a market called as Suriname. And Suriname has got these conditions in that particular market. This is the tariff of that market. The market does not manufacture their own products. They depend upon the products coming from this. Their utility rate is so and so. If I can get to know that, I can get to know who the people in Suriname, those can be contacted. Like me, of course, others will contact as well. But if I'm good in marketing, maybe I will have some chance. But if I can have actionable insights, and if I get in touch with those guys, and if I'm able to convert one order to begin with, and then subsequent recurring orders, I think that is what data should be giving me. Plain simple data for academic purpose is of no use. I'm sure academics are great. I am a part academician. Great in academics, but what the use of that which is not going to produce us in terms of profit, in terms of Atmanirbharta in a way? If that is not going to get us an advantage, there is no use. And therefore, what we want out of this data is, we want this data to give you two things, give us two things. Number one, we would like this data to give us a cause. What's a cause? Interesting. I'm sure I'm adding now one step to what Arvind Mehta spoke about. Arvind Mehta talked about prediction and we can do certain things with the data and etc. I will add one more thing to Arvind Mehta's talk earlier. The cause is going to tell me the answers to the questions like why. For example, I would like to find out if Brazil imports my product, I would like to find out why. Because the moment I understand why they import, I have got the key in my hand. They import is one thing, but why they import, the moment I know that, I have got the key in my hand. In fact, incidentally, believe me, Chinese, I'm talking about again the time when China was coming up, was our competitor. China had taken one approach, one straight approach. They didn't want to really do the dissection. They didn't want to really do the going to the depth and etc. It's well known case now that you know about it, and you know also how it landed up over a period of time. China's competitive strategy was very simple: mass produce and throw it at the price which they will not be able to refuse. Don't worry about quality. Don't worry about anything. Just get your prices down, because they know one of the causes that people normally buy their product is because of availability at a very, very substantially low rate, low price. Of course, they have got good products too. We are not talking about that. But the moment we know why they buy, from where they buy, why they buy from there, if we are able to know that, I think we have hit the nail at the right place. Now, question is, can we know that? Answer is, why not? That's what machine learning is all about, which I'm going to explain it to you, what this particular machine learning is all about. So, number one thing I want to do over here is a causality or the cause. And the second thing I want to do is, the moment we know the causality, can we predict it? Can we predict it? How much can we sell? What is possible to be sold in that particular market? Which is a good market with a potential? So can we actually predict where we are going to sell? And that is achieved over here by this black box at the moment for us, because we are not technology people at this particular moment. There is a black box over here. Some people call it data science, some people call it machine learning. And very briefly, without boring you, I am going to tell you there are basically 5 ways in which machine learning operates. There are 5 ways in which machine learning gives you the results. Now, what are those ways? Let me narrate them. Let me tell you. I will not take you into the details of it, because I am sure that can be left for the detailed study for those who want to do. But those who are in the field new for the first time, they're listening to this particular one. Let me answer this question. What does machine learning do? Well, machine learning does 5 things. Number 1, machine learning, some of the words are technical, but I still will go ahead with. I will explain you the non-technicalities of that. I will explain you the English behind that, but it's very simple. The machine learning can do beautifully classification. Now, what is a classification? I will put it this way. I will make 2 buckets. The markets which are favorable, markets which are not favorable for my product, let's say. Or I will make 3 buckets. Markets which are bad for me, markets which are favorable for me, markets which are extremely favorable for me. Machine learning, then looking at the different markets, can classify and say that this is not so favorable market, this is not so good market, this is a very good market. So the amount of data that keeps on coming, the machine learning can go through that particular data, use that particular data, use that particular model, and come out and say that this or this or this. Well, is it right? If the model is right, why not? It will be right. In fact, we will see an output of the machine learning operation of this particular nature today as we go further in a demonstration. So what it can do is something which is called as classification. Let's go to the number 2. And number 2 over here is known as, it can do the prediction. And I will put it for this particular prediction. I will put it over here in bracket. Forget it. If you are not technically oriented, doesn't matter. Technology is only as good as the user uses it, and therefore I will put it over here as regression. Regression is, by the way, I'm sure English word regression is very funny word. When you say progress, opposite of that is regress. So how can regression be good? Regression is, look at the past data and on the basis of past data, predict the future direction. It's not only possible, it is the way with which companies like Netflix, Amazon, Google operate. They have become big on the basis of ability of theirs to predict. So I will put it over here as number 2, which is called as prediction. Let's go to the third one, and that particular third one is the demonstration agenda today. We will see that particular one interestingly. If you have got your own product, please do not hesitate to try it out after the session gets over. Why not during the session? That will be too difficult. And that's the reason I said after the session gets over, because too many things will happen at the same time. So let's go to the third one over here. And that particular third one is known as RECO system in short, or in the long form known as recommendation system. Now, what are the repo systems? By the way, who perfected it? Who brought in? This is, I'm sure, when we were in school, at least when I was in school, nobody had ever thought about it. When I was in college, nobody had ever thought about it. This got perfected only around 12 years back. And it was perfected by the companies which have become billion-dollar companies because of this. One of them is known as Netflix. Have you noticed one thing? Just there are movies with you, you don't know which one to see. But when Netflix comes out and says that, watch this movie, you will like it. Incidentally, what Netflix suggests, you like it too. At least I like it very much. What Netflix suggests. In fact, if the Netflix does not suggest me, I find something which is odd. If Amazon suggests me, those who bought this product also bought this particular product. When I look at that product, I do find it interesting. In fact, majority of the sales today in the world happens because of recommendation system, and every Tom, Dick and Harry, I'm talking about Netflixes of the world, the Amazons of the world, the Flipkarts of the world, are using recommendation systems. What about having a recommendation system for plastic export? Just imagine, is it possible to have it? For example, those who bought this can also buy this. Or those who are of this type are buying things of this nature. What if a system comes to you and tells you that your product can go over there, or maybe to the other person, telling that your product is appropriate for them? Now, recommendation systems are the highest pinnacle of the machine learning. Generally, in a complex language, it's of a different nature. We will not go into the details of the structure, vectors, and etc., etc. Let's keep that particular thing over here. But recommendation systems are pretty good, and one such available freely, yes, I'm right, available freely to everyone, is, we will be demonstrating that how this particular system works, and beautiful. I will be surprised if you do not get insights about your own product with that particular one, but we will take 5 minutes to come to that particular one. Let's make sure that we get these things properly. So, third one is recommendation system. Let's go to the fourth one. It's known as association rules. I'm sure a lot of people, when they hear this particular term called as rules and all, they say that, oh my God, rules and regulations and laws. No, but they're beautiful. And we should be very happy that these rules were invented by an Indian. Of course, American Indian. He is based in India, Rajan Agrawal. What are association rules? They discover the pattern. Now, let me explain this particular pattern. Okay? A pattern, typical pattern is this. I think I had one example, but if possible, we'll have the demonstration of this also. A typical pattern is this. A person does engineering, does MBA, maybe works for some time, does MBA, then joins some company at a higher level, then progresses further. Sometimes becomes CEO, sometimes doesn't become CEO, sometimes becomes CXO, does not become CXO, but things go on, and then comes a time for retirement. Sometimes people retire, sometimes people don't retire. But generally, if you are an employee or somebody is an employee, somebody retires. They are hale and hearty. Fortunately, the medical systems in India or elsewhere in the world too have improved. So a person is hale and hearty at the time of retirement, and there is a lot of energy, there is a lot of zest and zeal in them. Normally, these people have got enormous domain knowledge, and a very nice association that can be discovered, that has been discovered, is this. The people of this sort become entrepreneurs, particularly trading-related entrepreneurs, technology-related entrepreneurs, or data-related entrepreneurs. They are extremely good with this because they have got contacts. They understand the importance of data, and a person of this nature is an asset of the highest order, maybe to a lot of people as well. Maybe the association rule tries to find out who can be of this type, who need not be of this type, etc., etc. I'm just giving an example, but a company which grows has got associations of this as well, and that is a brilliant information that can be obtained. So we will call over here as association rules. Let's go to the next one, last one, end of the story. That is going to be called as clustering. What is clustering? Putting the things together, putting the markets together, putting the products together, so that we can discover some patterns that birds of the same feathers are in the flock and they behave in the same way. So if you have not been able to exploit certain things for that particular group, maybe you are able to exploit those particular things as well. So these are the typical 5 things, rudimentary. Each one of them in itself can be a great deal of detailing, but these are the 5 things which actually a job of a data scientist is to develop the system so that users like you are able to take advantage of this. Maybe a user like you comes to me, for example, and asks me, can you tell me which are the good markets with good export potential for my product? Now, I am not going to actually tell you like a soothsayer that try this, try this. I should give you the data, backed with the data. I should give you a pointer saying that, look at this market. Their export potential is, I mean to say, export potential to this particular market is say 1 billion, while the actual import happening in that particular market is only 300 million, and there is a gap of 700 million over there. That means there is a gap, possible gap to be bridged in over there, which that market does not have. Or maybe that market has it from somewhere else, which you can bridge it as well. Probably you are in a better position of that. So the job of machine learning persons like me or the fraternity of mine is basically to create these particular things as models. You don't have to create models. You have to be the users of the models. If you can create a model, nothing like it. In fact, eventually, there is going to be the self-service BI. You can do it yourself. But are there tools for that? Yes. We talk about that and then we proceed to our demonstration. A demonstration where we can see some of these particular things happening. Data to recommendation system. Let's have a look at all of them. Of course, available on the web free of charge to anyone. But what are the tools available? Are they difficult? Are they what? Let me explain you first of all. If you have heard this, that data science is difficult, you require knowledge of R, require knowledge of Python or Ruby on Rails. I saw somebody saying about Ruby on Rails and full stack and etc. Now, if you think that you require Python, R and etc., you have to learn everything, forget it. That's not going to be possible. You already are engrossed in your work till your nose. Where are you going to learn a new programming language? Do you really have to use these 5 things? Do you really have to know this? Answer is no, sir. It was once upon a time you had to know that, and that's the reason why it has become a techie subject. But as an actual user, you have got 3 beautiful tools, and these 3 tools are taking care of running the engine under the bonnet. You drive the car if you know. By the way, what's a disaster? If you do not know what it is. But if you know how to drive a car, you don't have to know even the engine. You don't have to know how to open a bonnet and check the oil level. You don't even have to do that. Now, 3 tools I will suggest you in that order. I will suggest you. Number 1 is called as Tableau. I will show you, I will tell you, I will get you where to get it and etc. Of course, it's not very difficult to learn. It can be learned as well. And is it free? Yes. Tableau is not free, but one version of Tableau which is known as public. One version of Tableau which is known as public. So if you are learning and if you are just evaluating it out, public version of Tableau is absolutely free. By the way, it is free, so it must be curtailed in some types of functionalities. No. For everything that you need, it's available over there, and I will show you one such instance of Tableau, how beautiful they are. Beautiful tool, free of charge, as long as it's public. You can download it. I will share the details with you. Number 2 is a Microsoft product, beautiful product. It's called as Power BI. BI stands for business intelligence, and Power stands for the genre, stands for the part of Microsoft which is focusing on this. So Power BI is a brilliant software. In fact, Power BI has made to a great extent for the actual users. Please don't misunderstand my word. R and Python are not obsolete. R and Python are there. R and Python will be there because developing algorithms is always better in these languages. However, for the actual users, like owner of a plastic manufacturing unit who wants to see what is the best possible option for him or her. You don't have to really learn R and Python. That is taken care by Power BI beautifully. Again, is Power BI free? If you are having Office 365 or if you are having any Microsoft ID, and Microsoft ID is free by the way. If you are having any Microsoft ID, Power BI is free. Is it easy? By the way, question is for both of them. Is it easy really to use it? And my answer is yes. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. That means not that you started with it and immediately it happened. It will take some time for you to get used to, but it is as difficult. Let me put it this way, that's much easier. It is as difficult as Excel is. If you think Excel is okay, if you think Excel is all right, in that case, Power BI and Tableau should not be a constraint for you. It should be absolutely straightforward. I will show both of them as we go further, maybe a glimpse of it, but you can try it out. And I will suggest you a lot of videos. Some of them are, of course, starring me. So have a look at those particular videos on YouTube, where you will see Power BI, Tableau compared. You can try it out yourself as well. So have a look at it, of course, free of charge. Today, we are dealing with everything. Information is something which is available readily without any great, impediments in over there. The third tool, which Arvind Bhai did start with, he did mention that as well. So I am going to take it further. The third one over here is known as Azure ML. Azure is a Microsoft family and ML stands for machine learning. Now, if you want to really develop algorithmic models, in that case, Azure ML will come in handy. I think as a entrepreneur, as a manager, as a responsible person for enhancing your sale, you still don't have to go to the Azure ML level, but if need be, you can. There is no way it can be stopped. And how much of the coding you require? Zero. It's a completely codeless. Where do you get it? Well, you can go to a site called as studio.azureml. Of course, these links are available anyway as we go further. .net, I'm sorry. So don't look at this particular gibberish I have written over here. I have just written these particular things up so that there is a kind of a documentation that remains, which I will be happy to share with you as this session comes to an end. Well, why are you going to be bothered about this? I think my answer to this question is data science is like a hygiene factor. Hygiene factor. Knowing data science is no more a qualification, but not knowing data science is a certain disqualification. When your competitors use it, the competitors are able to actually make a laser sharp cut in your market, and you are not using any of these particular things up. In that case, there is going to be a massive problem. In fact, I saw somebody giving the Azure ML link. That's not Azure ML, that's Azure link. So whoever had given that particular link, that is a link for Azure, the parent, while we are looking at Azure ML. Anyway, but that's perfectly all right. So why am I bothered about it? It's our question. By the way, evolution, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is very simple. Evolution is optional. Those who want to evolve can evolve. Some humans, some monkeys evolve and become humans, but monkeys are still there. So whether to develop or not to develop is a choice of an individual. I would say it this way, that this is the oxygen of the future business or the present business. Knowing about it is going to be always better. Good. Let's keep it over here. Let's go because we have got time constraint as well. I don't want to take too much of your time because we must have some time for our question answers as well. So we are right on time right now. So what am I going to show you? So I am going to take one commodity over here, one product. Commodity is not the right word. I will take one product over here, 392310. That's a HS code for this particular product, plastic containers and etc. etc. I will take this particular product. I will show you where the data is available. The data which I mentioned earlier, the sacrosanct, clean data, where you can get this particular data year on year for export, import from whichever market that you're looking out for. I will take you that. I will show you how to download this data and how easy it is to use. a tool like Tableau. So I will take you through that. I will take you to public tenders available, the large contracts which have been awarded in the world in your plastic area, who are the importers in that particular specific country that you may be looking out for. Remember, the importers are generic. What's the generic importer? That importer imports your product. That importer imports 392310. However, his name is flashed across, and every person worth his or her salt must be getting in touch with that particular importer. So when you get in touch with that importer, you may be the 700th person to get in touch with that particular importer. So my idea is we can get better than that. Of course, we will not leave a single stone unturned. So where are these particular people? You have to try it out. Give them an offer, Godfather style. Give them an offer that they will not be able to refuse. Who knows? They will buy from you as well. So we will talk about where are these particular data available of them. We will talk about export potential, which is going to be the recommendation system. The tariff and regulations, we will keep it to the end so that we don't have to waste our time on that. But let me explain you how this particular recommendation system works out, and let's look at how easy it is nowadays to get the details of any person in the world. So if you have a person of interest, POI, who could be your potential buyer, everything about that person can be found out. Let's see how, if possible. And if not possible, don't worry. I'm sure it's not such a rocket science. So I will come out of this. I will keep these particular things up so that they are the artifacts for a discussion. I will minimize it, and I will start over here with, I have already got that particular site up and running, but I will take you through that again, because when the WebEx is on or when the video conferencing is on, you can never guarantee the internet connectivity. So I have not only kept these particular sites open, I have also kept a video, also I have captured the video and kept it ready in case something goes wrong. I don't have to waste your time on that. By the way, this is one site. Somebody was mentioning World Bank. I'm not using World Bank as of now. That's a great source, but I am using one source of this type, which in my opinion is much better, but one of the sources. There are plenty of them as well, and that is at Geneva, called as International Trade Center. International Trade Center is a part of UN and WTO. It's a UN and WTO organization, and their entire job, believe me, is to use machine learning to create business intelligence. They do it for us, but they do it for everyone. I think we have to do it for ourselves to sharpen it to our requirement. What they do it is for everyone. What we need is our own alchemy, our own chemistry, which we shall talk about as a separate part. But let's see what's available. So I will take you over here to what is called as a market and tool, market information data. So I will take you over here to the trade statistics. Let's see if the connection does not, oh, it's working out well. Now here is the data from 2001 to 2019. World Bank also has it. Indian government also has it. You also have it. AIPMA also has this particular data. In fact, I got the data from them. Then I modified this particular data over here. This is the first type of data, if you remember, I'm talking about. You have got data of the imports and exports with the product groups, or you have with the country, what do they import, what do they export. Let's go to the imports. We want to see who imports plastic things. Now this is where we are. You are familiar with this, I suppose. HS code. They call it BTN, Brussels 10 nomenclature. I go to the 39th chapter, which is your product category. I go to the 39th chapter. I have got plastics and articles thereof, but I don't want generic chapter. I want to go to the chapter 23, subchapter 23 in fact. So I go to the 39, subchapter 23, okay, articles for packaging goods, plastics, stoppers, etc. I don't know why did I select that. Anyway, you can select anything of your choice. Now within this, I want to have a specific article which is digit 10. So I will like to have boxes, cases, crates, and similar articles for the conveyance or packaging of the goods, a typical HS description. So we have got over here the details of data of, oh, what is this? We have got data only for 15, 16, 17, and 18, 19. No. Little drama. Sometimes it's so simple in front of us, but we don't have it. This site has got a lot of tricks. Now what I'm going to do over here is look at this trick, it's a beautiful trick. Drop down on this box and say 20 per page. Okay, now see what happens. Now, you have to really do these things up, experience these particular things up to realize that last mile tricks are required over here. The moment I do that, and by the way, there are plenty of tricks of this particular sort. So if you look at it now, I have got data from 2001 to 2019. 2001 to 2019, the data for every country in the world which has imported. So look at it, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the way, oh, too much of data, no problem. Let's get this particular data downloaded. So what we can do over here is, I can use Excel and I download it. This is what data. You can't use this data for machine learning till you have the other types of data as well, which I did mention earlier. But well, I have got this particular data. I have got this particular data downloaded, and I have, this is not required, right? Oh, this is required. Too many me. Okay, I have got this particular data over here, and I have put that particular data as 2392010. So I have got this particular data over here, and just have a look at this particular data. Am I audible, Anish?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. Okay, now if you look at this particular data, this is the data for practically every country. Over the period of time, you have got this particular data, and you can use this particular data in Tableau straight away. So what I will do over here is, if I don't have a Tableau prepared, I will just try to show you that how these particular things work out. Do I have a Tableau? No, I don't have. Okay, so there is a Tableau over here. I would like to show you that how easy it is. Don't worry, it's not mastery that you are going to develop, but you are going to have a look at it, how these particular things actually work out. So here is the Tableau. Give me 1 second. Yeah, remind me tomorrow. I can open this as well. Okay, let me see. Fine, fine, fine. So I already have read this particular data over here as a trial purpose. So I will start afresh over here. This is my data. If you look at it, this is my data source. This is the year, this is the import, and this is the country in which it has imported. So this is my data which I downloaded in front of you just now. I have just created a uncubing it. Don't worry about this particular jugglery. So I got this particular data, and quickly let me look at the potential. Which country is the best one? Of course, I will get it refined as we go further. So I take over here the year. I take over here general plastic export. I will look at over here. I will look at over here the trend of the export, and that is how the trend of the export of plastic 392310 looks like. Fair enough. Can I make a forecasting? That is what the tools do it very well. Doing a forecasting using R would take half a day for you. You can just go over here and can do what is called as analysis, go to the forecast, and you can have the forecast over here. So this is the forecast for next maybe 1 year. If you want to have more number of years, you can. By the way, let's do interesting thing now. Let's take countries over here, and we get over here all the countries and the countries forecast as well. There is one outstanding country over here. There is one outstanding country over here called as the US, outstanding in that particular way. But let's take top 10. See, the way you are able to slice this data is very easy. I want to take top 10, so drop over here and choose top 10. So let me see the top 10 countries. Okay, so these are the top 10 countries, and these are the forecasts of the top 10 countries. By the way, which countries are they? So let's take importers and put them on label. So this is US of A, Germany, Mexico on almost a similar basis, Canada, China, France, Austria, Singapore seem to be the top 10. Of course, whatever number of things you want to have it, you can have it. This is Tableau. Like this, you can use it in Power BI as well. Tell me, where is the code written? By the way, have I got the code? Have I used the code? Yes, I have used a huge lengthy code, what is called as time series analysis. I have used that in the background, but you can do these particular things as well. But we have got something better off than that as well. Let's keep it in the background. Let's go back to our, okay, let's go back over here. Let's try to see now. I want to see the potential for Brazil. Why Brazil? I think I will come to that a step later. I would like to see the potential for Brazil. This data for Brazil, what you have to do over here is choose the country, choose Brazil. Where is Brazil? Choose Brazil. Okay, we get our data for Brazil. Same data for Brazil. Good. Now comes a very interesting thing. I want to see the importers in Brazil. Yeah, I go to companies. Okay, these are the importers in Brazil. I think this is coming in between. These are the different importers in Brazil, number of employees that they employ, and you can get practically any information about these particular companies as well. But remember, these companies have been identified by ITC, International Trade Center, using machine learning, using classification that which are the good companies in the world, in Brazil, that may buy your product, may likely to buy your product, etc., etc. So they have found out that these are the potential buyers of your product. Not necessarily that they will buy from you, obviously, for a simple reason. Like you, n number of people must be approaching them as well. So there is no point in going to a dharmashala where we get treated like everyone else. We should be able to create this on our own with the tools that I mentioned over here. I think that gives us a deadly combination. But fair enough. At this moment, let's keep this particular thing over here. If I wanted to see, of course, I can go back to the table. Okay. If I wanted to see maybe the public tenders for these particular products, it's over here. What I will do is this. I will leave it to you because you know how to see these particular things. Come to this particular stage. There is a recording available for this. Come to this particular stage. Look at the public tenders. See the tenders which are live. See who the people are. Search for those particular people. By the way, all this data is for 392310. Product category, boxes, cases, crates, and similar articles. If you have got a product which is bottles, identify your HS score, put it over there, see it is. Basically, the life is pretty straightforward when somebody gives you these particular models, but the fun is creating these particular models yourselves. Let's do that now. Now, I don't need to say creation of a model. We have talked about so far the data and the results of machine learning that comes out of it. But what about that recommendation system? Can it tell me which products, which countries are good, which countries have got potential, which countries' potential is not really good? Countries importing a lot. By the way, there is a difference between the import and potential. I mentioned Brazil. Import in USA is very high, but potential in USA may not be very high. Import in Brazil may be very low, but potential in Brazil could be very high. So potential is something that comes out of recommendation system, which tries to tell you what to look and what not to look. Let's go to the recommendation system. So I will start over here with, I think I will start with the basics. So I will go to the market info, market analysis studies. So let's go to the market analysis studies, and I will show you how the RECO system actually works. The RECO systems or the recommendation system, the distilled version of the machine learning, ITC calls it as export potential map. Beautiful name, beautiful name. In fact, there is a PDF document. In case if you are a machine learning expert, you can have a look at that particular PDF document. It shows how the model was built, how exactly the things were built, and how input has gone into from each of these particular things up. But right now, just let's enjoy the mangoes. Let's not count the trees at this moment. I click on export potential map. They are bringing me to the ready-made recommendation system. It says, what is the export potential for? Search a product or a country. Let's search for a product. So let's go to the product. By the way, it can be done for the country too. I will go to the product 392310. Okay, boxes, articles, and etc. I click on that, and lo, the model is working behind the curtain, and model comes and says that, look at this term, if you are able to read my screen. Untapped export potential. Untapped export potential of $6 billion US. Where? Where is it? Let's see the markets. Let's see where the potential is. It will give a beautiful diagram. Same types of diagrams are created in Tableau and etc. It will give a beautiful diagram, and these are the markets it's suggesting has got a potential. Let's read it now. Let's click on USA. Okay, let's click on that. You have to click on that. The export potential to USA is 1.8 billion. Actual export to USA is 1.5 billion. There is a question mark over here. That means it tries to tell you that there is a trade which is of a different nature, which you will be able to see in details as well. But untapped potential left out over here is 848 million. What's the untapped? That means according to this machine learning algorithm, there is a scope of exporting worth of, by the way, for which product is this? 392310. It's not whole bunch of products, just 392310, and which come under 109010, next two digits, all those particular bunched up products of that. This is only for that. This is based upon what? I think this is based upon, I hope you are able to relate it now. This is based upon the earlier discussion that we had. Data which comes from demographic, which comes from certain sources, which comes from the individuals in intra-sen, that is trading center, international trade center. So all that particular data which comes in over there, the model which is built on that, with technical model which was built with this, is telling you the potential of this nature. By the way, let's remove this. Let's look at this country over here. Okay, let's look at this country over here. Let's see which one is this. That's South Africa. We don't want that. Let's look at Brazil. Why Brazil? Brazil does manufacture a lot of plastic articles. Brazil is one of the sources of manufacturing in Latin America, but they do import too. There is a lot of import happening in Brazil, and I would like to find out what that is. So there is an untapped potential to a great extent, 22 million of untapped potential. You will like to find out who are these people, exporters, which countries are exporting to Brazil. Now these are the countries which are exporting to Brazil, and you will sadly notice India does not figure in over here. By the way, what's the story of Italy? Look at it this way. Italy's actual export potential, Italy should export somewhere around 1.4 million, but it's actually exporting far more than that. They have monopolized this particular market. While China is short by around $8 million to explore their potential, but there is no potential for India over here because we have not explored that market. I'm sure with the information available at our disposal, we can do variety of different things as well. So this is the output of a system which tries to tell you where it is. Of course, list of the importers and etc. I don't know whether you are doing it or not, but let's do one thing. Now the things have become much easier. You can actually get the actual importers and the users of that particular product beautifully. One way, I can suggest you at least 7 or 8 ways of getting the data, but one of the ways which is available to you at a at a snap of a finger that you can get to know these particular people, simplest possible thing, go to Amazon of that country. Yeah, I mean to say not Amazon India, go to Amazon, amazon.com.br. Now that's the Amazon of Brazil. It will be in both the language, Portuguese and English. You don't have to worry about it because Google Translate is there for you. Keep English if you want to. But what will happen is this. If you want to search who are the suppliers, I think a good idea is, let's go over here to what is called as Google Translate. Let's go over here to what is called as Google Translate, and we type in over here, what do we want to suggest? Let's say plastic buckets. Let's see plastic bucket, and I want to see what is plastic bucket known as in Portuguese. By the way, if you are puzzled, why am I taking Portuguese? Brazil is a Portuguese-speaking country, the only country in Latin America which speaks Portuguese. By the way, in Portuguese, it's known as balde de plástico. In Marathi, it's known as badli. There are a lot of Portuguese words in Marathi because of a variety of reasons, but let's take this and let's find out who the hell in Brazil are selling this in retail. So, balde de plástico, we have got balde Sanorama bucket, Real 27.98. 27 Real should be around 400 rupees. So the buckets are being sold at 400 rupees. If you want to see who is the person behind this, you can come over here. There is a company called as Bala Roti Official. Now Bala Roti Official, you have to investigate who that company is, and I tell you, I know this company. So I have searched for this particular company. Bala Roti Official is the largest importer of exotic plastic articles. It's a company which has got sizable population, and some of these particular people in Bala Roti Official, let's do that. I don't know whether it will be making sense or not. Probably you are more expert in these things than me. I will go back to the Google, not translate this time. I will search for Bala Roti Official. I must give Brazil, otherwise some rotis will come. Brazil. Okay. Now look at it. Material de construction Brazil, or building material Brazil, and I think what I will do over here is I will like to get about this, the LinkedIn contacts. I like to get LinkedIn contacts. So Bala Roti LinkedIn, that means the company has got a LinkedIn page. We will get to know more about this particular company, number of employees, etc., and there are 42 people of this company on the LinkedIn. Let's see who they are. So there are these particular people on LinkedIn. Okay. Muller Heck, Venderodara na Bala Roti. That means vendor developer for Bala Roti. Now let's see Muller Heck, and by the way, he is my 3rd degree member. That means the person he knows someone who he knows me too. So that's the 3rd degree over here. Rest of them do not have any connection, but this fellow has got connection. Let's see Muller Heck. So this is Muller Heck. He is based out of Curitiba. By the way, endless. After this, in a day, you should get in touch with 100 people with the right proper product, and there is no reason why we will not be the force to reckon with in the field of international trade or industrial business. By the way, what we did is for export. When you want to source it from a country, you do the reverse of this. Practically, the steps are the same. But I thought, talking about data science, application of this, seeing a live example that, okay, what does data science give me out of that? I just thought a brief curtain raiser, a brief flavor of that, if I can bring it to you, and if you think it's useful, I think your time spent with me, I think will be of some utility. I think I will stop over here. So maybe Dinesh bhai, if you can. So Sandesh or Dinesh bhai, if you can take it over from here, and if there are any questions. I don't know where I missed it. Okay.
Yeah, you can stop
okay,
the share.
Stop the sharing. Fine. Okay, yeah. I'm back on my normal set. Well, so this is a brief overview of what I wanted to actually talk about. Of course, nothing in this world is going to be straightforward and easy. It requires some kind of a endeavor, some kind of a trial and error. But remember, it's not difficult at all. It's to be applied. You apply it, it will happen, absolutely no problem. So Dinesh bhai, please, I hand it over you the reins of this. If there are any questions which we can take them up quickly, we will, or of course we will answer those particular questions separately.
Yeah. So thank you, Vinnie. Excellent presentation. I think very meaningful, something which we have. I was not expecting. We have, as you said very rightly, that we have ocean of data, but to make sense of it, specifically with respect to my own requirement, my own product, is of utmost importance. And I think this is where the latest tools and techniques, for example, you've given some insight on Microsoft Business Intelligence and other software where we can use, and with the ocean of data, with the cluster of data, how we can really use it for our own business. I think this is a science which is very, very important for every entrepreneur to understand. And I am sure that people who have attended today have got a good insight of this entire data management techniques. Having said that, I'm sure the people who have attended will either use it for their own company or will at least encourage their marketing team, people who are looking after the sales head, marketing heads, to get into this technology. As you said, very rightly said, that I like the very thing which you said is that knowing is not important, but I think not knowing is something which we can't afford to have. So I think very rightly said, because our competitors are using today, when we talk about exports, we are competing with the giants. Although there are many countries who are looking for alternate source from China to India, but India has to really get into that kind of system that we are able to reach our customers. For example, there are other competitors, the Vietnam, Indonesia. So I believe they are also trying to, become an alternate source in the changing political and economic situation in the world. So we have to really see that how post-pandemic, even during the pandemic, if the markets are changing, if the sentiments are changing, and how this is really affecting the data, maybe we will have to do some kind of analysis where such situations, current situation also could be used, not only with the past data, to also predict what happens in the future. So I think that is where, if we can, that is one of my suggestions, that yes, we take into account the historical data, but there are situations that goes beyond the historical data, something which we are encountering now at the moment. So how this really is going to change the data system or data science? If you can, this is, I think, just a thought which I have. So if you can really give us some insight, if such factors in this tool also could be used to do a prediction analysis.
Yeah. Actually, sir, the data of the COVID-19, which has actually made us far more intelligent, because with this particular data, we also are able to now do what is called as Monte Carlo simulation to see how the markets will actually behave, how the markets will actually oscillate. A typical way is look at the past data to get the insight for the future. But there comes another aspect of that, and that particular aspect is, can we simulate the market and see how the things are going to be happening? That is also the part of data science, even though we did not cover it, because we were focusing more on machine learning. But generally speaking, yes, Monte Carlo simulations, since the days of 1965 onwards, have been used in a great manner, and a possibility of predicting them is always there, which is a part and parcel that we have to really take care of, because future looks very dicey from this point onwards, and unless we prepare for that, I don't think we will be in the proper grooves, we will be in the proper shape, which is advantage of and also resist the risks of the things which are to come in future. So you are right,
yeah.
It's not about the past data, it's also about the simulated data to really talk about how the things can shape up.
Yeah, thank you, Vinnie. One more question I have is that what we saw today was the overview of how, why should we do it, what is in it for us, and what are the basic tools. But to put it in the practical implementation, to really do this on a regular basis, do we need to have a dedicated people dedicating day-to-day time on this? And also on top of it, do we need some specific training to do this, or is it very easy to understand online or something?
Sir, I will take a question over here which has come from Tejas KB, and Tejas has written over here saying that machine learning need machine languages, professional skills development like Java, C++, Ruby, Python, .NET. Now, I would like to answer your question in the context of Tejas's question over here as well. Actually, yes, you can do these languages and can do machine learning as well, but no, to do the machine learning and or to do the model development or the prediction as a business manager, you don't have to really know these particular languages. The tools have taken care of engine under the bonnet. We must know what it is. What does machine learning do? What is it that we are looking out for? If we know what we are looking out for, the requirement of the tool for the self-service BI is not there. Can it be learned by an individual? Yes. It can be learned by individuals. Yes. There is a bit of mathematics in it. One has to understand probability concepts. One has to understand distribution functions. One has to understand how the things work out. But from the point of view of a basic plain rudimentary mathematics is required. But I have come across many people in Spain where I was last time over there. They are all coming from the background of the humanities and doing machine learning. Because if the machine learning remains in the hands of the technology people, machine learning will never see the daylight of benefits. It has to be in the hands of the manager, those who actually use it. And one step has to be taken by the manager. I think the 10 steps will be taken by the tools to come to them. It's not really that difficult. Anyone can learn it.
Very, very rightly said. And in fact, I just wanted to inform our participants that, after today's webinar, we are going to bring you, along with IITC, the workshop for really doing this stuff. Some people most of the people will not be able to do entire everything themselves. So it is very important we understand that we can really handhold them and try to teach them how to really use the tool to the level where it is useful for them. So I think we are working out the schedule and the program, and very shortly, along with IITC AIPMA, will announce such workshop for the industry wherein we can really get them a practical hands-on with these tools, which I think is extremely important. Jagat bhai, you have anything to say? You have anything, President?
No, Deepak, this was an excellent session. Very, very learning, very, very informative. And I think the world now has to depend only on data and on analytics, because people who will succeed are going to be people who have got data. That is the new mantra today. It is not experience that is the only thing that will succeed, but it is collection of data over a period of time. Of course, data collection is also time consuming, and the right data available at the right time for the right source is going to be the key word for every single business to succeed. Like I have been seeing what Mr. Vinnie Thakur has been saying, that, and very rightly, very truly, whenever you go to Amazon, whenever you buy anything, it always pops up and suggests, like Deepak Balani had bought this, or XYZ, others have bought this. They tempt you. They see the way people are purchasing, the attitude, the trend of purchase of XYZ products. If you are buying something with this product has also gone. So how does one come to that? It is only because of collection of data, and then analysis is done accordingly. So most important part in all this is going to be data, and this session has been truly, truly a very informative session for a first timer. Let me tell you, a person who wants to grow and have a change and growth will find this session important to take it forward to the next learning session. So Mr. Vinnie Thakur and Mr. Urval, I am very grateful to you. This has been a process of learning, and AIPMA would like to take this forward and see how it benefits the plastic industry at large, and other than the plastic industry also students and lot many things that AIPMA is now into. So I'm very grateful to you, and I thank you for having spared this time today. And I would ask my GC chairman if he would like to put in a few words on how he felt this session was.
No, this was thank you, Jagat bhai. Vinnie Thakurji, it was excellent session, rather I would call it. And actually, in my mind and in my company also, I am dying to have the data. from the marketing people, and they are there as they are. What I have to say. So this is a beautiful thing, and as Jagatbhai rightly said, this is now era of data and data analysis and application. That is the story we want now.
Correct.
And over and above, at least as you have come to AIPMA is also facing that problem of data for the members. That means everybody is expecting something from us, all the members, and we have to guide them with the data, this and this. Even our government advocacy needs data. So kindly guide Deepak on that line, so we'll be more strong. But excellent, really mind-boggling, I would call it, and congratulations to you and your friend, this one, that he is doing wonderful, Sandesh Urwal. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, Jagat Bhai. Thank you, Arvind Bhai. I think you beautifully summed up this entire program, and also you also told us how the entire thing is so important and the direction the industry should take. So thank you, President. Thank you, DC Chairman. So I would like to finally thank all my attendees for participating in this very exciting program. We are very happy to have brought this program to you, and we understand the importance of the program after really attending this program, even as a host. So we would like to take it forward with a very meaningful workshop. Maybe we can discuss this with Vinith and Sandesh and try to customize it for our industry, specifically with respect to two things. One is how to really increase exports. As you know, our market share, global market share is hardly 1 to 2%. So that is very low. And we also import almost $6.5 billion of products. So there are two things. How basically we can really substitute imports, what are the imports happening, and how can we really tap that? And secondly, how to really increase exports. So with these two objectives in mind, I think we can go ahead and we can launch our workshop for the industry. And having said that, let me again thank Vinith and Sandesh ji for agreeing to do this program with us. And again, thank you all the participants. Thank you everyone behind the scenes, AIPMA staff, who have organized this program beautifully. So thank you once again, and have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Deepak. Thank you so much. I have also shared
Thank you so much.
I have also shared one email ID for all the participants, d@iitc.com. If they have any doubts, they could always write to us. We'll be glad to answer the queries. Thank you, Mr. Bilal.
Thank you.
Thank you.